Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool. We are with the chapter Heredity and Evolution. If we can recall our previous class, we studied about the evidences of evolution, isn't it? Homologous organs, analogous organs, and we studied more about the fossils and everything, right? And today's class, we will study about some more aspects of evolution, that is, evolution by stages. See, one thing you have to clearly understand is evolution is not a sudden process, right? See, in the very next generation of a species, you don't find the species would become something else, okay? Not at all looking similar to the parents, that kind of situation you will not find. In every generation, there is a little of variation. These group of variations after a million years, if you consider, then the organism after million years is completely a changed organism. It would have become a entirely new species compared to the original one, isn't it? So evolution is not a sudden thing, sudden process. It always occurs very slowly, gradually, right? And also occurs in stages. Okay, so this is what we study in this class. So first point that you have to remember is evolution is not a sudden process. Evolution is not a sudden process. Okay, it is not a sudden process, guys. Suddenly in one generation itself the species are getting evolved, that particular thing you don't observe here. And the next point that you have to remember is evolution occurs very slowly, okay? In stages, it will occur in stages, okay? Stage by stage you will see variation. Ultimately you would observe the evolution. Okay, so this is what we will study, how evolution is happening in stages, how it is happening very slowly. This is what we study with the help of certain examples. Okay, say the examples we study here is, we discuss about evolution of ice. Okay, we will understand how evolution took place in stages by studying about evolution of ice. Okay, and later we study evolution of feathers, and finally we study artificial evolution. Okay, say with these three examples we can understand that evolution always occurs in stages and it is not a sudden process. Okay, let us go for the first type, that is evolution of ice. Evolution of ice. Long back, the primitive organisms like flatworms, like Euglena, okay, they were also having an eye, but it is not that much prominent. Okay, say I will take Euglena. Imagine this is Euglena, right? And it had an eye spot. It actually had eye spot which is not prominent. Okay, just a small spot which is hidden in the body. Okay, this eye spot was actually hidden. It is not exposed outside. Like, see, now in the human beings, if you see the eyes, it's a very prominent one. It is one particular complex structure in our body, right? And it is not hidden. It is exposed. It is the feature that is exposed to the environment, right? But long back in the flatworms, you had an eye spot and that was a hidden feature. It is not exposed. Okay, and it is not that prominent also, right? And later, after many years, we got an organism like planaria. Okay, planaria. So planaria actually had two dots in its body. Okay, say these were called as rudimentary eyes. Rudimentary eyes. Okay, and these rudimentary eyes have become functional, guys. Like they were doing some function in a body. Okay, what was the function they were doing in a body is to observe. What is the function they were doing in a body? Started detecting light. Started detecting light. Okay, just because of this particular feature, you know, it can able to survive many number of years, right? It can protect itself. Since it can able to detect light or other organisms, it can protect itself. Okay, during danger times, it can protect itself with the help of eyes because it can detect the danger. It can see the danger with the eye spots. Okay, but not well developed eyes. So they are called rudimentary eyes. You know, and later you can see the birds. Okay, birds' eyes. Okay, they were actually having the compound eyes. The eyes of the birds are called compound eyes, guys. Like much advanced eyes compared to planaria. They are not just dots, you know, ball kind of structures. Yes, ball shaped eyes, you know, little advanced type of eyes they had, and with that they can able to see various things, right? And you know, coming to the humans have binocular eyes. The type of eyes we have is called binocular eyes. Binocular eyes in the sense, you know, we actually have a lens inside, retina is there, and it's a very complex organ. Okay, and it's a very much advanced organ. We can able to see the light, we can able to see various things, we can see nearer things, we can see farther things. Yes or no? See, so many options are there for this binocular eyes. See, these are much advanced eyes, guys. Okay, but how did you get this much advanced eyes? You got it from much older type of eye called eye spot. Okay, so initially the microorganisms that were living long back were having just eye spot. Okay, but they were not having any function. They do not have any duty. They were not used for protecting a microorganism. It's a hidden feature. But later in the planaria like organisms, you started absorbing rudimentary eyes, which are actually functional. They were doing some duty. What is the duty? They can able to detect light. Okay, so that, you know, the organism can get protected itself with the help of this rudimentary eyes. Later you can see the birds were having compound eyes, you know, much functional, and later in the humans see binocular eyes. See, this is how evolution of eyes took place. Okay, from simpler eye spot to very complex binocular eyes have been formed. You know, so this is how evolution always occurs in stages, guys. Okay, it is suddenly you didn't get a binocular eyes from just a eye spot, right? So it's a gradual change. Okay, this particular change would have occurred a million years later, right? Say this is what we mean by evolution by stages that we studied with the help of evolution of eyes. Next, we will study about the evolution of feathers. Evolution of feathers. See here, long back, if you go to Jurassic era, you know, the dinosaurs, you know, they were also having feathers. Okay, but with the help of these feathers, you know, dinosaurs couldn't fly. They did not use the feathers for flying. Okay, they used the feathers. These feathers were used for insulation purpose. for insulation purpose. Insulation purpose in the sense during colder times, during winter times, if the organism is feeling too much cold, it uses the feathers to cover its body. Okay, so that is what we call insulation purpose. Okay, and later the same type of feathers, same type of feathers were seen in birds. Okay, they were seen in birds. Whereas in the birds, the feathers were used for flying. Yes or no? Right? So this is how evolution of feathers took place, guys. In the older creatures long back, now those creatures are not there only, isn't it? Say in them also you found the feathers, but the function was different. Okay, actually birds have been evolved from dinosaurs only. Birds have come from dinosaurs only. Okay, after many years, after many variations, right? And the same feathers are there in birds also, but the function is different here. Here the birds use the feathers for flying. Yes or no? The function has changed, but there is an evolution. See, this particular evolution did not happen all of a sudden. It happened very slowly, gradually, in many number of steps actually, right? So this is another example from which we can understand that evolution occurred in stages. Clear? And now let us go for artificial selection. Okay, actually it is called artificial selection or evolution, anything is fine, but it is mentioned as artificial selection in our textbooks. Okay, artificial selection is it is not actually the evolution, it is the process invented by man. Okay, it is a man-made evolution, I can say, right? So let us try to write the definition of artificial selection first. It is the process of getting desirable traits or characters, okay, by artificial methods of changing DNA, okay, or gene. Clear? Say a man, if he want a certain character, okay, say for example in a plant, he has certain vegetable plant. He did not like that vegetable. He wanted to improve the characters of that vegetable. So what he will do is he will try to change the genetic character of that plant or vegetable so that he can get another new vegetable which is having the characters that he wanted. Okay, so this is what we actually call it as artificial selection. So let us understand this better with the help of an example. Okay, so imagine initially in our nature we had certain vegetable called wild cabbage. Okay, wild cabbage. You can see the picture of wild cabbage, how it looks. Okay, it is one of the original cabbage variety that is present in our nature. But man did not like this vegetable. Okay, he did not like the features present in this vegetable. He wanted to improve its quality or whatever it is. So he he changed the genome of this vegetable. Okay, he crossbred this vegetable. He did so many different processes, artificial means of changing the genome of this vegetable to get the characters he wanted in the vegetable. Got to know? Say by changing a vegetable, by changing the genes of some of the genes of this vegetable, he got a new variety called cabbage. Okay, whatever the vegetable we see nowadays is what cabbage. It is not the original cabbage that is existed in nature. Nature did not give that cabbage. Actually, we changed the genome of a wild cabbage, so we got a new variety that is cabbage. Okay, so what is the desirable character you had got in a cabbage is, less space, between the leaves. This was the desirable characters. You see it in a cabbage. Actually, in a wild cabbage, if you see, there is lots of space between the leaves. So no, there is no so much flesh. There are lots of space between the leaves. Leaves are the one which is eatable one, right? Say man has changed the genome of wild cabbage. He got a new variety cabbage. Now he had got less spaces between the leaves, so that he will find so much flesh, so much eatable thing in the vegetable, right? Less wastage he would find, right? For the benefit of man, this particular change has been created by man itself. Clear? Say from a wild cabbage you had got another variety called broccoli. Broccoli is also man-made vegetable only. Okay, man actually changed the genome of wild cabbage, so he got broccoli. Okay, so broccoli is actually an arrested flower. It's an arrested flower type. The entire thing is eatable thing only. There is no wastage in broccoli also, right? And another vegetable he got from wild cabbage only, that is cauliflower. Okay, so cauliflower is actually a sterile flower, where here also the whole flower can be eaten off, right? There is no so much wastage even in the cauliflower compared to wild cabbage. Clear? And another vegetable has created from wild cabbage, that is kohlrabi. Kohlrabi. Okay, you had certain swollen parts you can observe in kohlrabi. Those swollen parts are eatable parts. Clear? And the last vegetable we got from wild cabbage is kale. Kale were having larger leaves, and the whole leaf can be eaten off. Okay, say this is how a new varieties of vegetables a man has got by changing the genetic material of a natural vegetable, that is wild cabbage. Okay, so why did he get these many new varieties is because to improve the nature of this particular vegetable. Okay, he wanted many more interested characters, okay, in the vegetable. That's the reason the man by artificial means he changed the genome to get various types of vegetables. And all these vegetables we use it nowadays to a larger extent, right? Cabbage, in every home you will find cabbage. Broccoli is used in the Western countries. Lots and lots of broccolis would be used, right? And cauliflower also we will use. Kohlrabi and kale also is used. Not in the Eastern countries, maybe in the Western countries, right? Say all of them are nutrient rich, right? Say the nutrient rich compared to wild cabbage. We have got improved nutrients in these guys compared to wild cabbage, isn't it? Say this is what we actually call it as artificial evolution or artificial selection. Okay, this particular evolution or this particular changes in the genome is not done by the nature. It did not happen naturally. This had happened with the help of a man. Because of his selfishness, because of his interest, he has created innovatively to change the genome of this vegetable, okay, in creating different species. Maybe they were beneficial to the mankind only, having much more nutrients compared to the original one, isn't it? So that's all about artificial selection. And I am completing evolution by stages with this. Okay, so evolution is not a sudden process, always occurs step by step. It can be studied with 3 different examples. What are they? Evolution of ice we have seen, how it occurred in stages. Evolution of feathers we have seen, and finally artificial selection also we have seen. And now let us talk about human evolution. Say, how did the humans are evolved? This is what we are going to discuss. And actually, what are the different ways of studying the evolutionary relationship of humans? Like how we can study about human evolution. We can study it by four important tools, guys. Okay, let us discuss them one by one. Okay, say tools. First and foremost, we will discuss tools to study human evolution. Tools to study human evolution, or tools for human evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship. Okay, say by what tools we can study human evolution is by, the first and important tool is by excavating. Excavating. What do you mean by excavating, guys? It is by digging. Okay, by digging to find the fossils. Say anything you can study best with the help of fossils only. So how do you get a fossil, guys? By digging only, right? By research, by lots of research, we can able to study the human evolution, like how humans have come into the nature, right? That is called excavating. And second one is time dating. Time dating, that means by knowing the different elements that are present in the human body, by knowing their nature, by understanding the different isotopes of the element, actually the different elements, some different forms of elements, they keep liberating certain radiations, guys. Understanding about these radiations liberated by certain elements present in a body, by this also you can understand the human evolution. And the third one is by fossils, by studying about the fossils. The first fossil was found in Africa about the human species, guys. Looking at those fossils, the scientists have concluded many theories about human evolution, actually. Right? So, fossil study plays a very important role in understanding the evolution of any species. And lastly, by studying the DNA sequence. DNA sequence. I told you DNA is nothing but, gene. Right? Say this genome is present in the chromosomes. Say by knowing the genetic information of a particular organism, you can able to understand about the evolutionary relationship between different species. Okay, so these are the four tools which we will use to study about the human evolution. So just try to remember them. One is excavating, time dating, studying the fossil, and also by studying about the DNA, that is the DNA sequence. Okay, fine. And usually it is believed that, the species called Homo sapiens, were the ancestors of human beings. Say it is believed that all the human beings have evolved from the species called Homo sapiens. These Homo sapiens were found in Africa. Okay. And later these guys, the species called Homo sapiens, started moving to other parts of the world, guys. Okay, say some started moving to Asia, some started moving to Australia, East Asia, West Asia, and everywhere. Okay, America, they started moving to America, right? So to various parts of the world, they started moving. As their number increased in Africa, they migrated to different regions of the world. Okay, so maybe because of this we got different types of people. You know, Asian people look differently than American people. American people are white, yes or no? Their features are different, whereas the Asian people are, you know, the brownish. African people are different, Japanese are different, so the way we look is different, but our characters, our body structure and everything is similar only, isn't it? So we all are from a single species called Homo sapiens. They were actually originally found in Africa. Okay, so in Africa itself, the fossil of Homo sapiens were found, right? And these Homo sapiens, as their number increased in Africa, they started migrating everywhere due to the environmental conditions of different countries. You know, various variations might have occurred in the genetic material, so different characters would have been created in the body, right? Like the color and everything is different, maybe because of variations created in the genome according to the environmental conditions present in different parts of the world. Okay, so the people moved here and there, and you know, some people got mixed up. See, few people started moving forward, few people went back, and few people mixed up with other people in other country. You know, because of these various combinations, we had got different types of human beings, right? And different varieties. I mean, I can't say different types. You know, the human beings with different color, you know, different race, right? It's all due to, because of this random movement of Homo sapiens to all parts of the world. Okay, so this is all about human evolution. Clear, everybody? That's all about a chapter. It's a very important chapter, but the way you have to study is what important. You know, your approach have to be different. So if you can study as I explained on a board, like step by step, you know, the chapter becomes very easy for you. You can able to answer any type of a question that can be asked for the examination. Okay, concentrate with the chapter and see you with the next chapter. So till then, take care, keep revising the concepts, and if you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates. Thank you.